This is Young Trader. This is the last call of the day. So we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, at crude oil, and at natural gas. Then we'll take a look here at the indexes, and then we'll take a look at Ford. The earnings here are now after the close today. At the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell, stock, not ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin, your daily chart. Now you can see here how nicely this is playing out here so far. Well, what we had is we had this inverse head and shoulders pattern here with this nice double bottom situation. Had a really nice good run up, made a nice higher high on Friday, and then we gapped down there today. Okay, so we made a low here of 93,945, but we never made it down to the bottom of this candle here, which is 93,445. And then we need next level will be that 93,021 level. Now, again, if we lose this level, then we're going to come right to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 91,785. And then we'll look here, because this here is the midline. This is going to be your 89.20 level, okay, off that inverse head and shoulders pattern. Okay, so what we have is just a sideways action. Now, we got to see how this is going to close here today here at 4 o'clock. But we're looking here, if we can get back above this 8-day, 95,659, then no harm is done here, okay? That's going to be your upside target, okay? Now, again, if we can get above that, then we'll look at the top of this candle here. We're looking there at 96.40. We'll come up here. We're looking at 96.275. We'll come on top of that candle, 96.780. And then we just started venturing right on up here again. We're looking at that 98.305 level. And then we look at Friday's high at that 98.615 level. Well, right now we just have this sideways trading action. We had a hell of a run here. So I'll get too excited about it. Now, we never got to an overbought condition. We came up here close to the 70, but this can turn right around here very, very easily. Your green is still over your red. So actually, this is looking still very, very good. We're getting a little bit of catch up here, a little bit of sideways action. But again, we're looking for it to get back above that 8-day, and that would be a good sign. And we need to hold this key 100-day. That would be awesome too. If not, I say we're going to be, this is your target right here at that 90,1785. Now, when we look at a weekly chart here, you can see here on this 21-day, it's still holding up very, very nicely, 93.94. Okay, as long as we can hold that on a closing basis by Friday, this is good. If we lose that, then we're going to be looking for this 8-day at 88,861 level. Okay, which should be probably just above here, this 21-day here on your daily chart. And then below that, we have that 50 SMA here. But let's just trade this here sideways. This is a really good trader. I did the IBIT today for long and BITI for the short. And it worked out very, very nicely here, okay? So, again, this is just a trader's market. Now, what we're looking for here is Friday's high. That's at 98,615 level. If we can get above that, then we're going to come right here. Just bring this price channel across. This is your big target. It's going to be that 99,765. We'll come up here. You're looking at 107.65. And then we can come all the way to the top of that candle at 102 and change, and maybe even up to this 106 level here very, very nicely. But when you look at this inverse head and shoulders, that left shoulder, head, and the right shoulder, if this plays out here, what you're looking at is by pretty much the 106 area is your target, okay? Well, we just have a little bit down day today. Looks like the market is pretty well flat. Dow's up a little bit here, but let's just see how it all shakes out there, okay? So I don't have any opinion. We want to trade in both directions. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil and at natural gas. Okay, here we have the crude oil and here we have natural gas. Now you can see here crude oil. We had this basically looks like it's a staggered, but it's like a big pole and a bear flag situation. You couldn't get through your 21 SMA and she sold right on down. Now, but you have to look at today's low. So I always point out if you can hold this level, that's a good buying opportunity here to take it long, okay? Because that way what we have is what they call just a double bottom situation, okay? So today we put a low in there, but it was only 56.30 level, okay? 56.30. We're looking for that 55.12. So right now we have a double bottom, okay, with a higher low. Very, very nice. So what we're watching is today's high on the upside is 57.70, okay? We get above that. We'll be looking for the top of this candle here at that 59.50. We'll come up here. We're looking at 59.87. And then here's your big key level is going to be this 8-day at that 60.08. And then we have 61.17. There's your 21 SMA here, okay? But right now here, we just have this double bottom, so just let it play out. Maybe we get a rally up here, at least back up to that 8 simple moving average, okay? So let's just see how that all plays out. Now, RSI here, we're sitting at 32. It's not overbought or oversold. Your green is still below your red here. But again, you got to be a little bit patient. That can curl right back up again. All you just need is a catalyst here just to go higher. That's what we're looking for is a catalyst. and maybe we can take it at least up to that 8 simple moving average here, and I think that would be a good trade long. So I scalped the UCO there today. It got as low as 1835. I didn't get 1835. I got in at 1845, and it got as high as 1897. I didn't get that. I didn't sell it there. I sold it at 85. So I was very happy just with the trade, just for a little scalp, and we'll see what's going to be going on here. But right now, this is it's still a bearish pattern because we're below all these simple moving average. And if you look at this here, you can see how these simple moving averages, look at how they're all rolling over, okay? Everything's like an absolute waterfall. So let's just see how this all shakes out here. So again, this is a trade. This is not a buy and hold. This is just a trade kind of a situation. Okay, now natural gas. Well, natural gas here, we had that contract roll last week, okay, gapped that up and ran up very, very nicely. The 8 curled up here, now ready about to cross that 21-day. Now, again, you can see this is why you trade the charts. Okay, it went up here, got as high today as at 3.74. We were looking for this 100 SMA here at 3.70, so it got a little bit higher than that. It was a really good scalp, but I actually took the short on it because it couldn't get through that 100-day. I didn't scalp the long, but I got the short ski coming all the way on down here. So this is actually a really good trade in the KOLD. The KOLD got as low as 20.98, and it got as high as 22.93. So you almost had a point out of it. I got 50 cents out of it, so I was happy with the old natural gas, okay? So what we're watching here on the upside is we're going to be watching that 100-day. That's going to be very, very critical. That's at 707, and then we have the 50-day right above that. That's at 3.78 level, okay? So that's what we're looking for there on the upside. On the downside, bottom line here, this is going to be key support. It's going to be this 21-day at 3.36 and this 8-day sitting there at that 3.32. That's going to be very, very critical. As long as it holds that 8-day, this can go sideways here to up action. So even if it goes sideways, let that 8-day catch up a little bit, and maybe we can take this bad boy higher. We'll have to see. Now, you can see here we had a 52. That's not really, that's like right in the middle. Your green is over your red, had a nice good run up here. But again, this is just, for me, it's just a trade long or short, okay? Now, let's take a look here now at the indexes. Okay, here we have the indexes. You have your Dow, your S&P, and we have the old NASDAQ. Now, you can see here, take a look at the Dow here. The Dow is actually green here, up about 102 points, okay? So what we do is, we really want to need is hold this a 41,248. That is your 8 SMA there, okay? Or 50 SMA, sorry about that. If that loses that, then we're going to look to today's low. You're looking at 41,063. We'll look at Friday's low here. You're looking at 49.60. And then we'll come out to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 47.05. And then this is going to be your key support level, is this 46.39, 38 level here. Okay, so basically what we're doing here, as long as this here is above that 8 SMA here, we're looking very, very positive. Sometimes we get a sideways action, let that 8-day catch up, okay? Now, on the upside here, we made this high of 41,445, okay? Now, we're going to be looking to the bottom of this candle here at 41,629 because this is your gap fill, okay? So now that's the gap, and this is the fill, okay? So I always say when it's down here, you're going to be, first of all, looking for this top of this candle. That's the gap, okay? And then it works its way towards that fill, and then we get above that. Here's your big target, 42,223. That is your 200 simple moving average. Now, you get your green over red looking very good. This is nowhere near overbought. This could move much higher. Okay, so let's take a look here now at the S&P. Now, you can see all these charts look pretty much the same. Now, what we have here, we have just a little bit lower low today and a lower high. So what we're looking on the upside is we're looking through Friday's high. That's that 5,700. And then we're looking for that 5,746. That is your 200 SMA here. We get above that, then we'd be looking for the 100-day at 57. What do we got there? 57.93 level. But that 200-day is going to be key because all we do is look to the past here. What happened? Okay, we went to that 200-day, and then she came right on off here. So, okay, so we want to know what the reaction is once we get there. Okay, we're not overbought at all here. 59, plenty of room to run. Green over red, looking very, very good. Okay, so let's look at here at the old NASDAQ. Well, the NASDAQ here is looking good, okay? So what we do is we put in this little bit lower low here and a lower high. But again, what we're looking at is Friday's high. That's going to be key. That's that 1848 level. We get above that here. This is going to be your big target. It's going to be this 200-day at 18,316. And obviously right above it, we have 18,572. That is your 100 SMA. But again, we're looking for the reaction if it gets there. Now, this never made it there to there, But again, we want to see what the reaction is if it does get there. Now, on the downside here, obviously, we want to watch today's low. Okay, that's at 17,792. We'll come down to the bottom of this candle here. Now, this is your gap. Okay, 17,866. There's your gap. And then here's your fill situation here at 17,483 level. And then we have that 8 SMA sitting right there at that 17,559. But always watch these gaps in this fill. It's the same way as it going on the upside. We're into that gap now, so we're looking to fill it and then possibly hit that 200-day. Where if this sells off here, we're going to be looking for this gap, that fill, and then hopefully it holds this key 8 SMA here and a possible 50 SMA here. Okay, so that is going to be your downside. So we got a lot of good support here. So watch the gap to fill, 21-day 50. This is all your key support levels. And on the upside, your resistance level is 18,316. That is your 200-day. And then we have to see what the reaction is. If it gets here, what is the reaction? Okay, same way here. What is the reaction? And does it do like we had in the past? Or does it blast on through? See, all these charts are looking pretty much identical. If you just line these all up here, they're all pretty much the same kind of a looking chart here. But to me, I always like the NASDAQ because it's got all the kind of juice here, kind of situation. But if you notice here, we break in this downtrend, okay? See how we had this downtrend on all these charts here? Now we're breaking back above it. Now, get it above that 200-day, that's going to be very, very critical on all these charts. If you can break above it, then that downtrend is done, and we can just take on and move on much, much higher. So let's just see how this all going to shake out. Okay, let's take a look here now at Ford. Okay, Ford has their earnings here after the close today. So let's just take a look at what the earnings are. Okay, so this was one earning here. You can see where she just dropped right on down. Here's another earning where it gapped right on down. Here's another earnings where it gapped right on down. So what are the odds of this going up higher? However, that being said, now just remember, everybody's a little bit scared of these tariffs, little scaredy cats. Not me, of course, but a lot of these people said they went in there and they rushed to the dealership and they've been buying cars, okay, buying trucks, buying SUVs. Okay, so that might be on the books. The key is what do you have going forward then if you're already sold out of everything? You know what I'm saying? So what you really want to do is just look to the past, just look at these earnings situations, okay? And this stock is nothing to write home about. Now, this stock was fantastic. I bought it at 121 when Alan Mulally, he was the CEO, and he knew how to run Ford, okay? You had the other guy that ran it, and he didn't know what the hell he's doing. But Mulally ran this from $1.21 all the way to $22 here on the Ford, and he only got paid $1 a year. He took stock, yes. But that means if he would perform, he would get paid. If he didn't perform, he wouldn't get paid. That's my kind of CEO, okay? Now, we look here at Ford. Now you can see what happened. Look at here. See, this is why you trade the charts. Okay, on Friday, where did it go? Right into the 200-day, and it stopped it cold right in this tracks. Okay, so that 200-day now is everything. You're looking at 1036. Okay, so if we can get above that 1036 level, then what we'll do here is we're going to look here, and that's at that 1040 level. We'll come up to the top of this candle here. You're looking at a 1045 level, nothing to write home about, and then we'll come up here. We're looking at 1080. We bring this across. You're looking at 1127, and then we can come to the top of this candle right here. You're looking at 1152, okay? This is not my kind of stock, but I want to show you because the earnings are out, okay? But again, always look to the past here, see what it is. But again, remember, people were rushing to the car lots, buying cars because they're afraid of the tariffs and all this nonsense. Just be patient. This will all work out very, very nicely, okay? So that's the key. Just be patient. Now, on the downside here, what do we got? Well, we want to watch that 8-day. That's that 1011, and then we'll come down to the bottom of this candle right here. You're looking at 1002. We'll come down to the bottom here. You're looking at 986, and then you got a lot of good support here. You got your 100-day at 981. We got your 21-day and your 50-day here sitting at 960. So just look at this area for key support if that 8-day is lost, okay? But again, it's tracking above. So as long as it holds this 8-day, we can get some sideways action. But the key is going to be right here. Is going to be that 200-day. You have to close above this. Once you close above it, it could possibly move higher, kind of a situation. Okay, RSI here, you're looking 56, plenty of room. Green over your red, not looking too bad. It's just not what you call a big, huge market mover kind of a situation. So let's just see how this all shakes out. But just remember, the earnings are up after the close today if you are trading this. Okay, I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all over again. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.